Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review 7 Days to Die. This is a game that you can find on Steam for $45? Yeah, $45. This game was 10, 15 bucks in early access, and they increased the price by 3 times the original amount. What is up with that? Is the game worth the price hike? I can't say that it is, to be honest with you. I have 300 hours in this game. Others have a lot more, and I'll just simply say that a 300% price increase for this, I'm sorry, it's just not. I don't know what the fun pimps were thinking, but it's not worth $45 right now. Anyway, so what is this game? You're going to create a character. They sort of rehauled the whole character creator screen. You'll be able to actually adjust things like face, hairstyle, beard, all that stuff. I mean, you could kind of do that in like the original character creator, but it was a bit cumbersome and I think overly complicated. This one simplifies it a bit, makes it look a bit nicer. So there's a slight improvement there, if you could call it that. My favorite part of this game is the ability to create a server pretty much how you want to create it. And this is why I keep coming back to 7 Days to Die. The whole shtick of this game is every 7 days you've got a blood moon and they'll throw a wave of zombies at you. Well, in the server creation screen, you can play single player, multiplayer, whatever. You can customize that any way you want to. I mean, maybe not any way you want to, but there's a lot of different options. So you can adjust, AI block damage. You can adjust, do you drop everything on death or nothing on death? You can change how many zombies per player will spawn during a blood moon, how often the blood moon occurs rather than every 7 days. You could do 10 or 30. So if you want a more lax experience, you could totally do that. And there's even a map generator. There's Navezgane, which is the standard one, but there's also plenty of other ones, and again, that whole random map generator thing. It takes like a minute, though, to generate the larger map, so just be patient with it. It's not very fast, in my opinion, so I sort of tone it down to a smaller world size, and I just tweak it to my liking, and off I go. So you're thrown into this world as you would expect, and you're just trying to survive. And I will say it's one of the better zombie survival games because the UI is great in the sense that, there's auto sorting, you can auto stack things from one container to another. There's just a lot of information to sift through too. You can even search for things as well. There's like a search bar. So like if you're looking for a recipe or something specific, you can actually search for it. So like this game does a lot of things that, makes my life easier as a survivor player, and I totally appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons, again, why I keep coming back to this game. And they've even upped the graphics a bit for the 1.0 launch. This game has been in development for like 10 plus years. I was wondering if it would ever be released, but so it goes. But yeah, my favorite part of this game really is just creating a base. You can create one anywhere. You find a part on the map that you think is secure, or you can just pick a wide open area and create your own little wooded house, using blocks or whatever. You can dig underground, which is what I tend to do. It takes a little bit longer, but it's also like, it's a bit more secure that way. So you can have an underground base, you can have an above ground base, whatever you want. I like my underground stuff, but that's just me. You can put traps down eventually and other things as you learn the recipes. I'm not going to focus on that in this video. I have several streams out there showing off advanced gameplay. So this video is more of like a high level overview, if you will, of like the game itself and some footage of the early game. And yeah, I will probably keep coming back to this game just because of the multiplayer aspect to it. It's something that we can just sort of chill to whenever we want. And there is a UI console that you can enable, or a dev console you can enable, and you can pretty much spawn almost anything. And typically I don't like cheating in these kinds of games, but there's one major mechanic that I disagree with that they've added recently. In Days of Yore, you would just level up by doing. Just typically like as you run, you gain, like in Oblivion or Skyrim, as you do things, you get points. There's still like a skill point system in this game that hasn't changed. You're going to put points into like agility, fortitude, and then those subcategories to level up that way. That's fine. I don't mind that aspect of it. But what they force you to do in this game is that you're supposed to find magazines in the environment, and that's where your recipes are locked. So you have to find the same magazine like 30 times just to unlock and read it in order to unlock this particular like bacon and eggs recipe or whatever. So it's in Days of Yore, that wasn't a thing. You would unlock these recipes by putting enough skills into the appropriate skill point tree. Here, you have to read magazines to do it, and I think that's completely stupid. So what I do is rather than bust my butt spending hours and hours and hours grinding for a couple of magazines that don't unlock anything anyway, especially if I'm playing with my family, I will spawn these magazines after a really tough raid or whatever. Like, we'll go out, have some fun, come back, and then I'll spawn enough magazines to maybe unlock maybe 10 or 15 recipes so that we feel a sense of progression. So, like, I become a DM, as it were, and that seems to work well for me and my family. So you decide how you want to approach that. If you just want to just spawn a whole bunch of skill books or whatever, those recipe books, and have at it, you can do that, assuming that you've enabled the cheats. So it's just unfortunate that I have to do that, but that I've had to. I just think that whole system is stupid. Speaking of things they got rid of, I feel like they've gutted this game a bit with the 1.0 launch. In the later stages of development, for example, they removed the ability to create glass containers and also fill up these glass containers with murky water so that you can cook it into clean water. So you can't do that anymore. You can't fill up containers with dirty water and then cook it for clean water. You can't do that. You have to find the murky water in the environment and then cook it. That is the stupidest thing. There's a whole lake near my house. In game, I should be able to just grab a bunch of it, bring it back, and then cook it for water. No, I can't. I have to go out, and I'm forced to loot. Is what I feel like I'm forced to loot more than ever before, and that's actually like I miss the days where I could just kind of hang out in my base for a little bit. This game just it went in a weird direction. It really did. They also simplified the armor system in the sense that there's only 4 armor slots now. And again, in Days of Yore, right before 1.0 launch, you were able to equip things like hats and dusters and different things like that. You can't do that here. They've simplified the armor equip screen. So, like, I don't understand the decision to gut these things. Like, some features were available in like alpha 16, 17, whatever, that aren't available now, and it makes me wonder why they got rid of them in the first place. Yeah, sure, you can build a rain collector as a response to that whole, well, you can't cook, you can't collect murky water anymore. The rain collector is more of a mid-late game thing. So again, you're kind of forced to go out and look for murky water bottles in order to cook them. I just think that's a bad decision. So like, this game is a mixed bag here. It's simply because, like, they've eliminated some things. They went in a direction that I don't agree with, and they tripled the price on launch. So, do I recommend this game? It sucks because I have 300 hours in this. If there was, I guess, using mods, I suppose you can get a lot of that back, what they got rid of. So that's one way to do it, but I shouldn't need mods to enhance my experience. It should already be in the game like it was before. My recommendation is wait for a sale. It was $10, $15 prior to launch, and I have a feeling, like most games, it will be 75% off, which would equate to roughly $10, $15 at some point later down the line. So just wait for this. If you missed it during the early access period, it's 10-year early access period. Give it another year or two for maybe the fun pimps to come to their senses and lower the price, or just wait for a deep sale on Steam to pick it back up for a price that it was before. Because honestly, right now, I feel like they did more harm than good, and they tripled the price, which it's not worth triple the price at this point. 7 Days to Die. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care.